International espionage, secret meetings, and shared intelligence aimed at offering private companies a competitive advantage. It sounds like the plot of a spy thriller, but it may in fact be the work of the Canadian government. All connected to those allegations Canada spied on Brazil. The CBC's Tom Perry has the latest on this story tonight.
How can you explain how CSE is spying on Brazilian mining and energy companies? How do you explain that?
It's his job to keep secrets, and the chief of the communication security establishment did just that today. At a security conference, John Forster would say only this about allegations his agents spied on the Brazilian government.
Given the recent reports, everything CSE does in terms of its foreign intelligence mandate follows Canadian law.
Hardly a thorough explanation, and so the question remains, why would Canada spy on Brazil? One theory that's getting some attention is that Canada may have been looking for information on Brazil's burgeoning offshore oil market. Newly obtained documents show the close relationship between Canada's security agencies and this country's resource sector. Since 2005, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service has hosted secret twice-yearly meetings with energy companies to discuss national security and criminal intelligence, threat risk assessment, and to share energy-related classified information. They've examined threats to Canada's energy infrastructure, everything from the vulnerability of pipelines to explosive attack to Aboriginal protests and occupations. A former public safety minister says there's nothing sinister going on here, just good planning.
There are thousands of miles of pipeline that crisscross the country, for instance. There are at any time any number of activists who wouldn't have a conscience about using literally explosive means to make a political point.
But if private companies and spy agencies are sharing security information, some wonder what else they're sharing.
And we should be asking, what kind of information this is being released and whose interests are being served by this kind of behavior.
The evidence is quite clear that CSEC has been complicit in industrial espionage, and it's totally unacceptable. We're talking about the type of behavior that we reproach other countries.
The opposition may have more questions next week when Parliament starts a new session. As for those secret meetings, the Federal Public Safety Department issued a statement today calling them standard practice. Tom Perry, CBC News, Ottawa.
Much of the information about Canada's alleged spying comes from journalist Glenn Greenwald and his research based on documents leaked by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. Greenwald was at Brazil's Senate today, testifying on those leaks. Senior correspondent Susan Ormiston is in Brasilia tonight. Susan.
Peter, the Brazilian Senate is investigating what Canada is accused of doing, and today they had a lot of questions for Glenn Greenwald. In the capital, Brasilia, in the square of the three powers, the Senate takes center stage, and today, foreign espionage was at the heart of it. A congressional committee is investigating the spying scandal and invited Glenn Greenwald to explain.
They wanted to know specifically what information Canada collected about the ministry, what the objective of the spying was specifically, what exactly the methods that were used to collect this information and invade the system.
Brazil was already furious at revelations the U.S.'s security apparatus tracked data in their country. Senator Vanessa Graziotin is leading the investigation. It's Canada's turn to come to Brazil to explain exactly what it's done against our country and what kind of espionage. And if it hasn't done anything, tell us clearly that nothing has happened. It's no secret now there are briefings between CSEC and industry, but it's a stretch, according to Greenwald, to think they were only to share security concerns.
If I were a Canadian citizen or a Canadian journalist, I would want to understand exactly why the Canadian government would target a ministry in Brazil that has no real responsibility other than oversight over an industry in which Canadian companies have an extremely substantial interest.
Peter, from the politicians we've spoken to here, there is a degree of frustration over Canada's response. No clear explanation and no direct denial yet.
Susan, Greenwald says there is more information about Canadian espionage to come. We watched you talking to him today. What did he have to say?
Only that there are a significant number of documents which indicate the UK and Canada are spying, but he wouldn't say on what targets.
All right, Susan Ormiston in Brasilia tonight. Well, if you want to read more about this story, there's a lot more online, including a timeline of leaked details by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden, information that many believe led to spying allegations against Canada. Just head to the website, cbcnews.ca.